Hi, and thanks so much for joining me. Today we were talking about my everyday makeup routine. If you'd like to see that, please keep watching. So I thought today we would talk about how I do everyday makeup. I had actually a request for it, so thank you so much for the requests. Keep them coming. I'm seated in front of the same window where I usually film. I'm just on the floor this time, and I have just natural light. So I thought with everyday makeup, a little less formal setting might be nice. So let me know what you think of this. But this is pretty much how I do my makeup every day, and I also am dressed up, well, at least I'm wearing jeans on the bottom, but I'm starting to wear my nicer clothes at home. So if you start doing that, please take a picture of yourself, tag me on it. I want to see what you look like during the day when you're working from home, because I feel like that just, again, brings a little bit of that routine back. I feel a little bit more productive when I actually get ready and put on regular clothes. So maybe I'll start posting pictures of what I'm wearing too, because it's really easy to just live in sweats, but I feel like it's also easier for me to take a nap like that, so that's why I do this. Like I said, this is pretty much it. I do have a couple new items here. I'm not purchasing that much from sales or anything like that, but I did have a couple of things that I had my eye on anyway, so I'm going to be using this Chatty in Honeysuckle. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I'm also going to be using, these are a couple of things that are new to me, but it's part of the same routine that I do. And I did pick up this beautiful bronzer by Chatty. So we're gonna try that out. That way I thought I'd just integrate them into my regular routine, and that way you could see them in play. Not a stitch of makeup on, not even eyebrows, but I'm going to show you my everyday routine. So these are things I do every day, and I thought I would try it with natural light, because with the sunscreen that I put on, you'll see in a minute, I think it looks really stark in the, I was gonna say unnatural light, in the fluorescent light with the ring light. So let's see how stark it looks with natural light. I've got the Even Up here. It's my daily SPF by Color Science, SPF 50 Clinical Pigment Perfector. It's water and sweat resistant for up to 40 minutes. And if you'll see, I have a little fun little compact here we'll talk about in a moment. And we'll try that together. I haven't tried it yet. So this, oh, it doesn't look as bad. So I think when the light is on, it looks almost white, but I think in this lighting, you can see how it just normally looks. So it's a little bit light for my skin tone. I can see if you're fair, yes, my hands are clean. If your skin is fair, then I can see how this might be too dark for you. And if you are any deeper than me, well, even my shade, you can see that it is quite light. The 3-in-1, this one, they came out with a few new shades. I hope they do that with this, because then maybe I could go without any concealer, which would be amazing. I'm trying to do Instagram Live as well, just so we can connect that way. So if you don't already follow me, I did a skincare declutter of sorts, and then I think I'm gonna do like my top shelf reshuffle. I gotta reorganize that because it's also become a little bit cluttered. So there it is. That looks amazing. Okay, so let's go in with this Total Eye. So it has this, if you don't know already, I think everyone I watch uses this, but it has a little metallic end, and I just pump it out there and just place it on. I don't really use that metallic applicator for anything else, just to get it on there, and I tap it in. So these are my layers of protection. I know I'm missing one layer, and that's my lips, and I think they came out with a lip balm. Okay, usually I do this part in the bathroom though. This is not on my makeup table, it's part of my skincare. So before I even get out of the bathroom and start doing my makeup, this is on. So this is every day. So even at home, I'm putting this on every day, even for the moments I need to go outside to, you know, take the trash out or get the mail or something. I still put this on just because it also has lots of skincare benefits. Are you guys wearing sunscreen inside? I mean, there are also sunscreens that protect from indoor light as well. So maybe not a bad idea. Let me know what you're doing with sunscreen. So yeah, that's kind of how it looks in real life. Not as bad, but it still is visible. So that's when I go over it with other things. We're pretty well. So with this product, the more you work it in, the more it sets, because it's a little bit tacky at first, and it will leave streaks. So just know, I have no idea what they're doing outside. Cutting down a tree or something? I don't know. It sounds really loud. Okay, let's go in with concealer. So I know many of you have asked and are wondering about Pat McGrath versus Clé de Peau, and I have to say, right now, not because of performance, but because of convenience, mostly, I'm really just pulling for this because I do, in a pinch, apply it directly on my face like this. So I don't know if I posted a video on this little makeup tip or not yet, but I continue to do it. So if I haven't talked about it yet or posted a video yet, what I do is I put the lighter shade just right here, Almond. Okay, and then I put a little bit of Almond right here as well, just because it can tend to look a little bit dark. I'm just checking in with my friends to make sure they're okay. So they were texting back. So mocha, and then I need just mocha up here. So depending on where you're concealing, I forgot this other part. So Almond here and then a darker shade here. So then it looks less unnatural. It looks more natural this way. So then I just tap it in, kind of blend them together like this. Okay, that's also why I like this concealer, because I can just use my hands in a pinch, because honestly with brushes, the washing of them sometimes can impede the process. And the Pat McGrath looks really great with a brush or beauty blender. So that's why I like this concealer, because you can quickly apply it and it looks really nice. And it looks really nice for a long time. That Pat McGrath, beautiful, beautiful, but it requires a beauty blender for me, and in an everyday situation, it just doesn't happen. Even a beauty blender, as fast as it is, so you can see it quickly just covers and is seamless. For everyday wear, I bought another one of these just as a backup in mocha, because I use more of the mocha than the almond, but I do like blending them. Honey's a little bit yellow toned for me right now, so I am not pulling for that one as much. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury setting powder. Ooh, I do need to get a backup of this though, because look, Abby Blissway talked about this powder too, and hers looked just like mine. So that tells you how good this is, and her skin is dry. Mine is not. Mine's dry on the exterior, normal under the eye, so I don't have texture or anything like that, but it does such a nice job of setting without creasing. So I've had really good luck with this one. I'm just gonna do really quick, just because, do you see it has a little bit of peach? I'm just gonna add a little bit because you can still see, which also reminds me I need a blush. Okay, then next, dun, 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 let me go get my blush. So I love the Chantecaille powder, as you know, but for every day I also put another layer of something on for SPF. The Color Science, which reminds me, I should probably pick this up when it's on sale, because it is a staple. I'm not picking up a lot of new things, but I'm picking up things that I know I'm going to use. So I know many of you purchased this powder, by the way, on Neiman Marcus, I think it was. There was a sale. I originally had this linked to something else like Nordstrom, but Nordstrom was sold out of everything. So I'm glad you found it on Neiman Marcus on the sale. I'm just going to stamp like this. Let me show you half. So here's half, just so you can see how it adds a little bit of color back because of the sunscreen. This is one of the few mineral foundations I found with SPF that doesn't look like powder on my face. Okay, so you can see the difference, right? It's like regular skin color over here, and then you can tell there's something just a little bit off over here. So let's finish up. So it kind of adds another layer of sunscreen. It also brings my color back to where it kind of was. Yeah, as much sunscreen as possible, that's what I go for. Like if there was a setting spray with sunscreen that worked really well, I think one of you told me about Kate Somerville, so I might look into that. I would do that too. Next, let's go in with bronzer. I do bronze just because it looks like I have a mask on. It doesn't usually take me this long, but I'm talking, so it's taking up more time. I'm going to go in with this Chantecaille bronzer. So you know I love this powder so much, and I feel like I really feel like they should bring this one as a regular powder, because I haven't found anything else like it. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I run out. But you can see it does have the same kind of pattern on there. I've got a Ray Morris. It's a flawless shader brush. By the way, I've got almost all Ray Morris exclusively here, except for my blush brush. So I'm going to go in and just, oh, that's so pretty. I thought it might be a little too dark, but I also thought the build on this might be gradual, which it is. So this is really nice for like medium to deep skin tones. But I think Mandy Davis used this shade, which looked beautiful on her, and we're kind of like, it's so funny because we don't look anything alike, but we like a lot of the same products and kind of fall into the same shade categories. Like I know she loves the ambient lighting powder in Radiant Light, so I went with her color pick on this because we like the same things. I want to take this Ashanti powder, this one, which doesn't look as nice, this is my older one, and I'm going to also apply that just because I love the way this looks in terms of its finish. So let me do this half again so you can see. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. I don't know if you can really tell, but there's a slight like blurring. I think I can see the blurring here. Okay, so there's without and this is with. And it just kind of brings everything together. I should do a game changer video again because this is a game changer for sure. For me to give it my hourglass for this, it's gotta be really good. Okay, especially these pores up here. Does a nice job. Okay, I have a lot of sunscreen on my face now, so I should be well protected. I, again, wish I had something I could apply more frequently, like a spray. Brows, if you missed this, I'm going to put them on brows. Wonder Brow, Black Brown, right here, super quick. So these are the things that I would not leave home without, simply because the sunscreen, like I will never go out without sunscreen. Even my moisturizer has sunscreen in it, so it's very important. But that's, I mean, that's how quick that is. So like, oh my gosh. I think the problem is that this floor is not level. Oh gosh. You can see it gives it more texture. Looks like real eyebrows. I like when they kind of poke up like here because you can see that there's like eyebrow hairs. And then it's not such a straight line across, kind of breaks it up. I was hoping this is going to be a fast video, but it's not. I can see it's kind of chatty. I've noticed since I'm not interacting as much with people when I do talk, it's like I can't stop talking. And I am quite an introvert too, so thank you for listening. That's it for the brows. It took me so long to get to this point with brows though, so if you struggle with eyebrows, it just really just takes practice. And then even still, sometimes my brows are not cute and I just have to go with it. Yeah, so it took me a long time to figure this out. So I hope that my little tips helped you because I struggled for a long time figuring out how to manage this whole eyebrows without it looking like that's all you saw. So I think we're at a happy medium here. But I do want to be able to see my eyebrows and because it makes such a big difference. Let's go with eyes. So we're going to use the Hummingbird palette. I just love this whole collection. A lot of people picked up the cool one, but the warm one is pretty too. So let's go ahead with this brush. I'm just gonna take this color right here. And I think it's just a pretty everyday color. And it's so easy to apply. That's it. That's the shade. And it's so smooth going on, so easy to blend. Like I haven't even taken a blending brush yet. I know that's not what this is exactly for, but I actually saw Ray Morris use this brush. She did an Instagram live. The feed was kind of choppy, but I could see her using this. And she just put it here and just swept it out like this. I think that's how she did it. But I was wondering how to use it because I couldn't find a video on it. So yeah, I just use this now to kind of blend everything. I think that's how I tried it before, but I was glad to know that, okay, that's how you do it. Let's go ahead with eyeliner. Now, eyeliner seems like an extra step here, but I get redness on my inner waterline. My waterline? Yeah, my waterline. This is a matte taupe by Chanel, and I have lots of creasing here right now. That's what happens when I put that concealer on directly. It does deposit quite a bit, so I am having to kind of thin that out as I go. But this matches kind of like, I kind of have pigment right here along my lash line anyway. I don't know if you have something like that, but it matches that color, so it's pretty seamless. And so it adds a little bit of definition and not redness, and it's not too much at the same time. So I really like this one. It's kind of a unique color too. I don't see this color in a whole lot of lines. Usually get like a dark brown or a like a shimmery brown, but in this case, these are so nice. I really feel like though these are not created equally, I'm gonna say. Now if I have extra time, this looks like I have a lot of makeup on, I go in with this one, the espresso. If I have time, that's always questionable. And then I just do like this, right on that outer V. That way you're kind of defining it without putting too much. Now for mascara, everyday, Dior Show, Maximizer 3D, and then I do put it underneath. It conditions your lashes too. I'm going to go in with my everyday mascara, which is the by Terry. I love the Givenchy one, but it just takes so long on an everyday basis. So I like the by Terry because it doesn't smudge either, which is really nice. So I have it in the twisted position first, and then it just builds volume. So I'll show you in a minute here. Sometimes this is it. I just go like this and then I'm done. And so no clumping. Yeah, really nice. But I'm gonna go ahead and untwist it, and then I'm going to, no, the other way. I'm going to untwist it, and so then I separate them a little bit. I think they actually show application the other way, but I like it this way. I like to build the volume and then kind of clean it up a little bit with it in this position. Okay, so mascara is on. It still looks a little bit like too light, but that's okay. We're just gonna go with it. Allison Chase did her check-in for her Project Pan. So I'm trying to be really good and use mine because there are a couple things that I'm actually using quite a bit of, and this is one of them, the Hourglass palette. I've been using this for the blush. So I just take these two blushes really and I kind of put them both on together. So I just run my brush through both of them, and then I, you know me, I stamp right here, like this, and then I sweep. I think that also helps combat the whole effect that the sunscreen has on my skin, making it look too light. So I'm actually gonna put it up here because I think this is one area where it kind of sticks out as too light, so I will put blush up here. Also, I know Abby talked about this too, putting blush right here, just kind of tie it all together, especially when you have like a less is more makeup kind of look. So I'm just gonna run it here. They suggest a fan brush, but I'm just gonna use this. The shimmer on these blushes are very fine, so it doesn't emphasize texture here, which is an issue for me sometimes. And then sometimes I'll even go in with this shade. I think that's a dim light, and just put it here, right in this area. Okay, so really pretty, just nice color on there. Now, let's go in with something new. I feel like I don't like the way that looks. Do you see how you can see under my lash line, there's like my skin? I am gonna take espresso just because that's not as visible in real life, but really visible on camera. So I'm just going to put that in there. By the way, I think I kind of overdid it on the mascara. I don't think I put this much on every day, but when I have time, I get carried away, and then that's what happens. So you can see the difference. Now you don't, here you can see it, here you don't. At least to me it does. And this is again using a brown instead of black. So I think if you are, I guess it would make sense if I used a brown mascara, but I didn't. But you can see it still works with a black mascara. That way it's not so stark. Okay, let's go in with something fun. So I didn't really shop the beauty sales that they've been having, except if they were things I knew I needed backups of. And then I did pick this up because I've been wanting this for so long, and they finally had it in stock, and then it was on sale. So this is Chanticai's Hummingbird collection in Honeysuckle. So I have Coral Belle, which is more warm toned, and I think there's one that's even more warm toned. I have that question, but this looks like, you know, a pretty everyday color, which is why it was sold out so much. So let's see what it looks like on. Okay, yeah, this one's pretty. Okay, that's really pretty. I love the way it feels. It's so moisturizing. Yeah, this one's pretty. I think this is definitely one I wear more than Coral Belle. Coral Belle looks pretty with the Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, but in this like get ready fast kind of thing, this one comes in really handy. So really nice. Now let's just go in. I couldn't help myself, but I brought it. I thought I brought it. Did I bring it? I got up. I thought I brought it. I didn't bring it. Okay, let me go get it. You probably know what I'm gonna go get, but I'm gonna go get it. Okay, this is the last thing, so I won't be getting up any more after this. Finally, let's go in with the Multi-Stick Balm by Chanel, and it's this color. It's in Golden Light. It's the one from the Desert, whatever that collection was, the recent one. So I just put it on the back of my hand, especially when I powdered. Although I have to say, with the Chanticai powder, you can apply, or at least I can, apply cream products, and it doesn't really bunch the powder up because of the finish. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's just a subtle glow, and I love it because the glow really comes from the texture. There is some shimmer, like very slight shimmer in there, but it's more from the texture itself than the actual particles. I've had questions about the finish on my skin on Instagram, and this is what I typically am wearing on Instagram stories. So if you were like, what is on your skin? It's a combination of the Chanticai powder. I mean, I think it's mostly the Chanticai powder that is giving off that kind of like skin-like finish, even though it's a powder, which is why I love it so much. Okay, so let's go on the eyelids really quick, just to give it a little bit more like, you know how when you have no makeup on, sometimes there's a sheen on your eyelids? This brings that sheen back, so I don't know if you'll be able to tell on camera, but I can see it in real life, the difference. So it's less flat. Super subtle difference though. And this, I know, this is like a version of my everyday. I got carried away. But this is what happens when I have time. I will kind of do a little bit more. And that's it for my everyday routine. Now, I think, yes indeed, I did put more makeup on because I had more time. That's what happens when I have more time. In the morning, I probably have about a fifth of the amount of time. It's very specific, but it's about a fifth of the amount of time that I took to do this. I will get ready in 10 minutes, under 10 minutes sometimes. But essentially all of these steps are in place in some form or another. So these are though the essentials that I never skip. So this sunscreen, these two products by Color Science, these products by Clé de Peau, which also have sunscreen, this product by Color Science, which also has sunscreen. So you can see the theme here. Sunscreen is very important. And then brows. I don't ever skip my brows. Even if I have to skip something else like mascara, I don't skip this. This is something next to sunscreen, then this comes next. After that, however, then I'll go in with mascara. Sometimes I don't get to an eyeshadow or an eyeliner, but that's really when I've got like 5 minutes. Sunscreen, eyebrows, mascara, and then if I don't have time to do bronzer, that's kind of what gets skipped, but my makeup looks a little bit weird that day, but only I notice it. And then a blush is something that sometimes gets skipped, but I really like to try and get that on because that one's really fast to do. And then for a lip product, like something like this is an everyday essential anyway. Oh yeah, and then I just enjoy these two products. I am pretty much going in every day with this anyway, just because it's like, this is the fun part, is this and then this. So if I was traveling, these things would all go with me as well. Yeah. And I wouldn't need to take anything else because that would get me through the day. And then I think if you just change the lip really quickly you can go to evening as well. So thanks so much for what you're doing by staying inside, for keeping in touch with people. I do in the morning have little groups of people that I make contact with every day, just to make sure that they're okay. I'm checking on the people who might not otherwise be able to go out of their homes to get food or groceries or anything like that. So much appreciated. I know you are doing things in your communities to do everything you can so that we can get through this together. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Of course, color signs. The 3-in-1 total eye, which I have. Did I bring it? I have it somewhere. It's probably on the floor. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. No? Where is it? Okay, anyway, so the 3-in-1, oh, it's right here. Now, let's go ahead with the, where is it? Oh my gosh. I'm not prepared. Hold on. What is happening? That is not the one that I'm looking for. I'll be right back again. I think I have packages. It's a huge difference. I brought, it rolled under the couch and all the way to the other side. I will never cook it. Even if I went out like that. And then I go in with my, where is it?